This video is going to show you a solo GM with a Void Sentinel Shield build. Just a kind reminder to people, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, as it's critical to the success of the channel. The reasons why you want to subscribe today are as follows. I'm not connected to the internet of late. I'm showing up as a damn router on your Bluetooth devices. So, as you can see on screen, one of the most searched terms for Titan mains is Sentinel Shield build. Now the reason why that is because it's Void Surge this week and Sentinel Shield is still doing bugged damage. They haven't touched Sentinel Shield, it's still the same, right? So I made a video about this 2-3 weeks ago, so I'm not new to this. I'm already aware of it. But what I wanted to do is improve the build as of from last time, because last time I run like controlled demolition and stuff. And I ran Synthoceps. But I was like, hang on a sec, how can we get more damage to champions and the boss at the same time, rather than just running Synthoceps, which people are getting tired of running. People, Titan mains run Synthoceps. I understand it to a degree. So here's a variation of that build that I did 2-3 weeks ago. So we all are aware of Birthplace of the Vile, that it has brawn and makes the GM easier. I'm sure we're aware of that. It's Void Surge, like I said. So if I do premiere this video, I'm not sure if I am or not, but what I've noticed with the premieres, if you haven't tuned into them, is that a premiere works better if it's a longer video as opposed to a shorter video. So if the video is only 15 minutes long, the premiere's not working as well, in my opinion. So I think a premiere works better if it's at least 20 minutes or longer. Now my run's only 15 minutes in length, so what I'm going to do is that this is 2 videos in one for you. So this is a build video, part 1 of the video, and part 2 of the video is the run demonstrating the build. Because I see a lot of build videos and some of them are very good, but a lot of them forget the practicality of their video and they're not showcasing the build to you properly. They're clipping it up, right? They're giving you it in digested in multiple clips. Oh, look at this, I melt a champ on the moon in a public zone. Oh, look at this, I use this build on Europa Lost Sector. Look at how good it is. Hang on a sec, that's not endgame, sir. Hello, it's not endgame. Endgame is Grandmaster Nightfall's raids and dungeons. Let's get it right, people. Lost Sectors are not endgame content. They are what's known as middle content. If you want to understand more on low-end content to mid content to end-game content, then you can ask somebody and they will tell you, or I will tell you, on how all pieces of content are categorized between lower, middle, high, and then high-end. All right? And I think when we're doing build videos, you should only focus on high-end content, end-game stuff, not low-end stuff. I think any build works in low-end content, so what does it matter about running a build in the first place? Get it? So let's go to the build portion of the video, and I'm going to talk to you at length about why we used and what we used. So obviously it's Sentinel Shield. The barricade that we chose was Rally. There's no need for towering in this because we don't need to play defensive. We need to play offensively. Rally barricade is a quicker cooldown, therefore more spams. It's overall better. But there is sometimes in true endgame stuff where we're doing day 1 stuff content, you might need towering over barricade. That does sometimes happen, Guardian. Don't think that it doesn't. It definitely does. But in this highly curated build for this GM in particular, Rally is better. We are using Shield Bash because we have a build surrounding it. Look, it suppresses targets. That means it stun overloads champions. The Void Grenade is open for interpretation to the user. I went with Vortex. I like Vortex the best. It's the most useful to me as a grenade. There are other Void Grenades that do more damage than Vortex. It is up to the user on what Void Grenade they choose. You can even go Suppression Grenade if you really want to. Just remember that when you do suppress a grenade, you lose a lot of damage as a result. And I don't like that too much. If I'm up against Hive Guardians, maybe I'll use Suppressor for utility. But I don't need utility, I need damage. I want more damage in this. I want to play more faster. Right. Aspects are Bastion and Offensive Bulwark. These 2 aspects play off each other. Bastion will give you an overshield via your barricade, which is Rally. Right? That will then play into offensive bulwark because we get more increased regen to grenades while we have an overshield. Not only that, when we have an overshield, we get a damage buff to our melee. It's roughly double your damage. You will double shield bash's damage with offensive bulwark, basically. I'm not giving you a number, Guardian. I'll come on to numbers in a minute, right? So that's huge, right? It's huge. I know there's controlled demolition, right? And it is very good. It's very good. It is. But I think for the build that I'm using, these two fragments are much better. Because we're pairing it with the exotic boots Peregrine Greaves, right? Now, these boots grant 1,000% damage bonus to your melee ability. 1,000%. That's what Dim says. I have not tested this. I am just going by what Dim says. 1,000%. Now, buffs are not additive in this game. They are multiplicable. Okay? Now, this is where we need a D2 mathematician, and I'm not working it out. I'm doing a lot of work. You're making me overwork. You want me to do this. You want me to go in your classroom and give you maths numbers. I'm not doing it. Some other D2 mathematician with less time on the hands, more time on the hands than me can work this stuff out. I've got a run to do. You work it out. So let's see all the buffs. Number 1, Peregrine Greaves. That is a buff to Shield Bash. Tractor Cannon is a higher debuff than what Concussive Reload is. It's a 30% debuff. Number 2, Stacker. Number 3, Stacker is Offensive Bulwark, because that will give you a damage increase to Shield Bash. So some D2 mathematician can work out the full number. I don't care too much about it, because when I'm fighting the minions of the darkness, they are dead anyways. Let's go on to the fragments. Right, so the fragments are highly curated to this Grandmaster Birthplace of the Val. Some fragments can be switched in and out depending on what you are doing. So number 1, Echo of Starvation. This always goes on. When you're playing a Void build, you always want Devour, because Void Sentinel Shield, it actually has a lot of survivability when you actually think about it, but we do want Devour on for sure. We 100% want that on. So that is best in slot. We do not change it. Echo of Reprisal can be a fragment that you change out and swap out. But again, this is a build highly curated for what I'm doing. I want more super, and when I'm surrounded by 3 enemies, I will get increased super regeneration when we are killing them, which is pretty much 90% of the strike, because it's an add dense GM, right? I think that for me is enough to put it on. We could have used Echo of Expulsion for void detonation damage, but I didn't even need it. The heads were dead. They were all dead so quickly that I couldn't even think about void detonators. So that's why. Echo of Obscurity grants invisibility on finisher kill. This is a best in slot mod for endgame content on a void build. You put this on because going invis on a Titan or a Warlock on a void build is very useful in endgame stuff. So this is a utility fragment to back up my damage. I've got all the damage in the world. Now I need to start doing some utility stuff. That is a utility fragment. And lastly, Echo of Legion. This is a very good mod when we're just melee and adds, which sometimes may occur. We get a plus 10 free resilience as well. This allows you to distribute stats better on your Titan because you get plus 10 points for free. Let's go on to stats now and talk to you about how you need to build a Void Sentinel Shield build properly for stat distribution. Number 1 requisite is resilience. Must be tier 10. If it's 9, 8, 7, I'll slap you. It needs to be 10. I won't slap you, that's a joke, but seriously, it needs to be 10. The next stat distribution that you need is discipline. It's not strength, because Peregrine Greaves will give you your melee back anyways off a champ. You don't need to spec any strength at all, really. Alright? So strength is not. Discipline is. Right? Now, because of offensive bulwark, you get so many nades that it, honestly, just whatever really. Just as much discipline as you want. As you know, I've got a D2 golden vault of quadruple and what would you call 5 stats? I've got a 5-star 100 build on the Titan. I can't be bothered to go and get that stuff. Right? What I had on me, I just adapt to the situation. I spend limited time in orbit. Boom. Get some discipline energy. That's it. Your 3rd stat is recovery. On a Void Titan, recovery is more important. The distinction is when you're on Prismatic Titan, recovery does not matter at all, really. But on other classes, it does, because recovery still plays a bit of a role, kind of. But we do have Devour, and we do have health regen stuff, and we do have overshields. So it's not that important. But neither is intellect, and neither is mobility. Never spec for that stuff in PvE for a Void Titan. So I hope you understand stat distributions now. I've taught you it, right? The rules are different depending on each class, of course. Like, say for example, Prismatic Titan, you need as much strength as possible. That is different, alright? But we're not on Prismatic Titan. Do you see Prismatic anywhere on your screen? No, it's Void Sentinel. Right, that's the build talking at length. Let's talk about armor mods on each class, please. Alright, we went double hands-on because you can rock with the artifact mod more of them. So I just figured that I would do that, but I didn't have to do this. I could have swapped out one hands-on for an Ashes to Assets. That would have worked fine. It's not a game breaker. It's no big deal. If you don't have a God Roll Velocity Baton with Attrition Orbs, maybe put on an Orb perk on your helmet. Special Ammo Find is very good for this. See, now the game's changed, alright? If you're using a utility exotic like Tractor Cannon, you don't need heavy ammo finder on. You don't need that much heavy in this. In theory, you could do the full run with Tractor Cannon with 3 magazines worth of Tractor Cannon would be enough for the entire solo GM run. You don't need heavy ammo in this. Tractor Cannon just needs to be 1 or 2 shots every now and then. That is it. So Special Ammo Finder has a lot more usability because we can spam more Velocity Baton. We are using double Void Loader because the original GLs reload very slowly. We need to buff up their reload as much as possible because we're going to spam it. I ran a heavy-handed on because we're using a melee-based build. We have Arc Resist and Void Resist. So Arc Resist to defend against Screebs. Void Resist because Void Threat is on. Concussive Dampener is the best resistance mod that we have in GM content. Do not make the mistake, Guardian, of running Sniper Resist or any nonsense, or even Melee Resist, to be honest. Don't run any of these nonsense mods. They don't work as you would think they do. They're just not useful. Melee Resist maybe sometimes, but honestly, it's very rare if you see me run Melee Resist. Concussive Dampener is better than all of that. You want 2 resist mods and a concussive dampener. I hope resistance is explained to you. Okay, Peregrine Greaves, the mods was recuperation because we've got attrition orbs and velocity baton and more nade energy. We don't need more strength because Peregrine Greaves will give us our shoulder charge back anyways when we need it, and Void Scav on, right? I just thought that was the best thing to do. Then we got double bomber, so when we pop our barricade, we get grenade energy. Because having more nades is always nice. Procs ward for overshield when we get a finisher. If we want to finish, add go in Viz and get an overshield. That is good. Okay. Weapon wise, we need unstoppable. We need unstoppable build within this. So I needed something to stop a champ, right? Because Tractor Cannon doesn't, of course. I could have ran Grand Overture, but then that's less of a debuff. I want a highest debuff possible to buff up Sentinel Shield's damage. I still think the Tractor's like better for this. So I ran a pulse rifle with kinetic tremors, and as I said, obviously the God Roll Velocity Baton. If people are confused, this is what it is, right? These 2 traits absolutely right now are reckoning the game. No matter where you are, what you do, it's literally the best special in the game. It's the best special weapon in the game right now. Okay, so that was the build portion of the video. Now to demonstrate the practicality of all these of this build. Okay, so you've had the part 1 of the video, the build itself, what to use, what not to use. This is the practical side of the build, showing you, hey, that's the build. Let's see us cook with it. Skip the first and stop. It is a time save. Do not kill him. You do not need to. You will still get platinum rating. You can skip any champ you want in this, but the unstoppable is definitely the best one to skip. You know why? Because all the other champs are right in front of you to kill. Overloads and stuff. And if you don't kill an overload, he tethers the enemies and makes them immune. So kill the one that we need to. So we're going to shoulder charge this guy, but we are literally struggling on this cliffside to do that. Don't worry, this is the only part of it. There we go. What is even going on? Explain it. explain what's going on. The Overlord has fell off map. I'm trying to shoulder charge this guy and then he runs away. But don't worry, this is the only part of the build where we struggle to shoulder charge. It's just because we're on this stupid cliffside, so we're in the middle of a fight here with this damn Overlord. But yeah, once we get Peregrine Greaves to proc, there we go, there's the damage. You will one cycle a champ once you do that. Just because we was struggling on that cliffside. The cliffside was the boss there, not the champs. Alright, unstoppable phase. So we want to debuff first, then stun. We do not have overshield, but we're going to kill anyways. The overshield damage buff that I was mentioning is just an additive thing for us. Then we tractor cannon this boss and look at the melt. The Sentinel Shield Vanguard Loyalist melt. Then we clear out the rest of the section, 1 minute 40 seconds in. This is by no means a speed run, it's not advertised as that. This is a run showcasing a build that you, Guardian, are searching for. Not me. I'm not spamming Void Sentinel Shield in Google searches or YouTube searches. That's you doing that. Although, I don't blame you because Sentinel Shield's a rather fun super. It's a very fun super in actual fact. So, we need to get Devour. That is our goal. We need to defend this plate as best as we can with Overshield and Devour kill chaining, right? Left hand side, look, we have Void Overshield and Devour. So we can now go on a Devour kill chain, stand our ground. The arc resist will help us against Screebs. That's why I've got it on. It allows me to play far more aggressive on the plate than usual. That's why I recommend one arc resist. Oh, by the way, and concussive dampener saves you. You don't need no damn melee resist, because Screebs don't melee, they explode. And what protects against explosions, everybody? That's right, concussive dampener. So make sure that you are all using concussive dampener. You fail at the first thing by not using concussive. You're already failing your solo GMs because of that. That's number one. Okay, Cappy's, we've collected the plate, shall I say, sorry. We're going to deal with these raiders. They are very difficult and annoying to deal with later on while I'm dealing with the champs. So instead, I chose to kill them at this cliffside here. We are getting weak, but look at this. Even though, you know, we're getting hit quite hard there, the void resist saves us and overshield. So I'm just trying to deal with these raiders now because later on they spread out and cost you time, which annoys me. Also, these stalkers, I should have killed those stalkers first, then jumped over. That was the slight mistake there with that, but that's okay. So, we're debuffing them. We can tractor cannon them, which as well, I recommend that you probably should just actually use some tractor cannon on them, because look, it suppresses them and you get rid of them in 2 shots. So, that is a strategy there. So, we're going to wait for Overload to jump over, which is only 5 seconds. Watch. There we go. Overload is interested, but he didn't put a tether up. That is a tactical thing there. So he doesn't put a tether up right away. It's not until you jump over that he will. But we can stun him before he does that. And look at the unstunned damage we're doing with Sentinel. The unstunned damage. That's incredible. To get a champ halfway without stunning him. Now, you would think that I should go and shoulder charge him and kill him, right? Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Look at super intellect regen rate. I'm manipulating intellect relay to its fullest here by not finishing the champ. In actual fact, I want him to give me more super. So look. And we get our hands-on shield bash kill. Get our shield bash back. Boom, halfway to a super. That will prep us for room 3. If it's called room 3. I guess it is, right? So the next room, we're prepped for it. So we'll end up getting our super for when exactly we want it. So that was a good tactical stall on the champ. Because the upside is we've got half a super. And when we get in this room and start killing enemies, we've got a super. This room can get out of hand if you don't have a super on a Sentinel Shield build. Because the Sentinel Shield build is about having your Sentinel Shield as much as possible. As much as possible. Right? Also, the neutral gameplay of this build is very strong if you think about it, because it 1-KOs champs. Right? It absolutely 1-KOs champs. Just sometimes when it's ad dense like that, you'll track the wrong ad. And if Peregrine Greaves is not procced, which it wasn't there, but I was starting to get tethered and stuff, so there was that. But look, the goal was to stun unstop immediately, then super, because by the time I stun the unstop and do that amount of damage to him, I get super and then I can clear the entire room. Sentinel Shield deals with it. We then just clear out the remaining lackluster ads, which we can do that now, right? We're just spamming GL because look at our ammo. We're very good on ammo. We're full capacity, so there's no reason not to spam our GL. Plus, we're getting attrition orbs to proc for recuperation, for nade energy, etc., etc. So we are now going to push up in this room. We're not going to deal with the scribs. We need to get an orb. You don't have to do it, but I'm just doing it to definitely do this so that we don't die. Not that we won't. It's a very low chance of death. But look, I'm just showing people, look, you can get a Devour chain kill there because you pick up an orb, and then you can do it again here to extend your Devour if you're quick enough. But even if not, no problem. You get another orb there as well again. Look, and you can safely skip everything in this room if you do it like that, if you abuse orbs, basically. Right, now we're going to get a debuff on this champ with Tractor Cannon, and then Peregrine Greaves him down. Boom, done. Easily. We didn't have Overshield, yes, but look at how easy that was there. Okay, so now Unstoppable Champions coming up, which we're going to do a debuff with GL, then another one, then stun with our Chatroom Bone, then go in with our melee. That kills the champ. Good. We have Overshield as well. Do we keep Overshield? No, we just lost it just before we get damage buff, and we don't have Peregrine proc there. I don't want to use my super, and he wasn't stopped. I don't want to use my super just yet because I want to use it on the plate, and this champ is dead. There we go. It's very consistent as well. When you get that Overshield, you've got it after kill, so you can play very aggressive with this. So we cap top plate first because it's always easier doing top plate before bottom. That's just how I do it. We are concerned with using getting an orb for Devour. We can use super as an emergency. So somebody who's on lower less skill than me, say, and maybe never soloed a GM before, use a super on this plate if you're struggling to survive, right? Now we're going to try and melee this guy. Peregrine is not procced there. That's fine. We'll make sure it's procced here. That's him dealt with. Then we'll get a grenade down. We've got Devour kill chaining going on. We're just capping the rest of this play. It's beneficial to kill your VIP because the VIP will chase you to the next plate and put a tether point up. Peregrine Greaves will not penetrate tether damage. That's enemy tether damage. But super damage will penetrate tether damage. All supers do this apart from a Titan Bubble. Titan Bubbles do not penetrate tether damage, but Well of Radiance will, and all Roman super damage will. Basically. Or should. It's a mechanic in the game that's not explained anywhere at all. The only way that you would know this is if you have experience with it. So I don't think everyone's aware of that. Of the Scorn Tether trap points, you can bypass their damage with a super. But melee damage and grenade damage will not bypass it. Okay, we use a Sentinel shield here because we have a Bane. Banes are more tankier than their general counterparts. Okay, they have more HP. So it was actually worth me to use a super there to make sure that I confirm this capture point. I would still probably have been able to kill him without super, but it just confirms the plate. Now I'm looking for ammo because ammo capacity, so tractor cannon's half, which is fine. That's actually a lot of ammo of tractor for me right now. But our special ammo's low. It's lowish. Oh, we just got a brick. There we go. We're back to healthy now. So you see how good this weapon is for ammo? The fact that we're always one brick away from being healthy is so OP. Now Void Scavenger helps that happen. That's a reason why you should generally sometimes, if you want to spam more of an ammo, use a scav. Okay, so the unstop is not stopped yet there, but we put our damage in anyways. So even though we didn't stop him, look, we done half HP. Half HP to an unstunned unstop? That's huge damage, man. Huge. So we cap the thing. We're going to go through. We cannot skip like I did on the T-Crash strat where we T-Crash across. We have no movement tech for that. So we're just going to clear out these ads rather quickly. We can get Devour off them. We can go Invis like this. You know, we get frozen while Invis. That's unfortunate though. Invis is only 5 seconds. I know it's not a huge deal, but There are times in GM environments where going invis on a void build is like on a non-hunter build I'm on about is very useful. It's a utility fragment that I always recommend that you try to use. So Peregrine Strike, boom, 1 KO. We had Overshield there. So good. The hardest thing about this build is getting used to Peregrine Greaves. I have not used Peregrine Greaves in probably 6 to 8 months, right? So I'm, as you can see over the run, I'm starting to get slightly better at proccing it. Now, we stun both overloads, both with Tractor. Boom, there's one. Can we get the second? Peregrine Greaves. Boom, number 2. Look at how good that build is there. Just stunning both overloads, then shoulder charging both of them. Anyways, do not use super until now. We're going to use a super in a minute. We'll get a shield bash here. Then we super. And our goal is to clear only all the captains, not the champs. Because we cannot stun champs, but the captains are annoying. Right? And another reason why to keep the Unstoppables up is to get a super back off them. So now we've just used our super. What are we going to do? We're going to manipulate the intellect recharge rate from sucking up their HP bar into my intellect bar. Look at the regen on the left hand side. Now isn't that funny? I'm not using Outbreak Perfected. Why am I getting so much recharge rate? Well, because it's not just Outbreak Perfected that does this. Damage dealt to target chunky targets will give you increased recharge rate to super regen that is buffed by the ×3 intellect recharge rate to Roman super as well. Any sort of weapon that you can think that does area of effect damage to an enemy, Polaris Lance would do it. Kinetic Tremors does it, right? Witherhoard does it. There's all sorts of weapons that do it. So in a solo GM environment, there's no best in slot for recharge rate. They all do a fantastic job. Any chunk and type of weapon will do it. In dungeon gameplay, it's a little bit different because people are using that Yard Rat SMG thing with rewind rounds and the rewind round SMG where you'd never reload with it basically. Right, now that gun's okay, but in a solo GM environment the power of the gun goes down. But that's a topic for another video on another day. Right, boss fight, we have our super. Our goal is to not use super. No, we don't want to use it just yet. We want to clear out this damn overload because he's going to get in the way later. And I don't want to use super because what I want to do is get rid of the boss as soon as possible. Now watch. This is the party trick of Sentinel Shield. Party trick incoming. Debuff with Tractor. Then we use our super. So here we go. Look at the amount of damage we're doing. Right? We don't even need to do the damage trick with it. Look at that. Instant damage to a third. That is so good. So this is where the run starts to really speed up. We end up doing this boss fight in 3 minutes, I think. When did we get here? 13:30? I don't know what the time was, but it's a 3-minute boss fight. So that is incredible in terms of how good it is. I think a lot of Void Titan mains should be doing this if you're wanting to farm Ascendant Shards for Birthplace or like on a GM. Use this build because the thing about this build is it's better than Symphoceps. The reason being is because we can 1 KO champs and do massive damage to the boss because we've got Tractor Cannon to buff up its damage that we lose from Symphos. So I think this is better than Symphos in Grandmaster gameplay because we have the ability with our Shield Bash to 1 KO champs, like do massive damage if we get everything procced properly, of course. We use super here because we did not 1 KO the champ there because we were under a lot of pressure, Guardian. That's why that happened. So anyways, that's fine though. Look at the boss. The boss is sendable, but we can't send him yet because we want to kill this unstop. So here we go. We get the unstop. We recorrected our slight error. We get rid of this damn ogre. Now the boss is ascendable right away. So literally I'm just looking for ammo. Boom. Full on velocity. Now we just need to send the boss away. I'm not going to shoulder charge the boss because we lose. Oh, I did anyways. I'm lying to you. We have lost our shield bash there. But that's okay. We'll end up just getting it back. So yeah, that I should not have shield bashed, but I end up getting it back anyways, to be honest. So pay attention to shield bash recharge rate. This bit here, we are just going to clear out some of these ads, Right, we have super as well. We've now confirmed our super for final phase, so we'll be able to finish the boss off rather quickly. We do have an overload to kill, which I recommend that you do kill the final overload I'm on about, not this overload, the final one, because he'll put a tether point up. If he puts a tether point up, it can ruin your day once your super is ends. Plus, you want to kill him for plat rank, but we did skip the first unstoppable in the entire thing. Yes, sure, we did. But that's a time save anyways. By the time you've messed around with those, you're losing 30 seconds to a minute. Maybe not to a minute, maybe 40 seconds, as opposed to just sparrowing past, Anyways, we've got our shield charge back. We have ammo to use. We have two tractor cannon shots left, which, we want to have at least one. We get the 1k on the overload, do tractor cannon immediately, and this will be the end of this boss with this Captain America build. Very good Sentinel Shield build to use. I highly recommend it for Titan mains to come off Prismatic just for a moment. You're not going to die, Guardian, just for a moment, and try this out. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.